Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Mr. Tim, your substitute art teacher. Today we're going to draw a cute animal, an endangered amphibian known as an axolotl. They're really cute and kind of easy to draw, so I figured, hey, why not give it a shot? So, we're going to start off with a nice kind of oval shape for the head. Now you can use a nice marker, you can use a crayon, you can use a pencil, a pen, whatever you have available to draw. We're gonna start out with that outline, and then when we're finished, we'll color it in. So we're gonna kind of start a little bit off to the side, and we're just gonna kind of make a nice oval head. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know. And then axolotls have these cool little fin things that come off the side of their head. There's 3 on each side, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. We're going to do little kind of things off like this, and they have these almost like frills that come off. So we're going to show that in our art by almost making like a little wiggle outline. Doesn't have to be anything kind of crazy. Doesn't have to be super wiggly, just enough. I'm going to show it has a little bit of movement there. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side of his head. Couple, one up top, one at the side, one down here. Maybe it curling a little bit. And we're going to take our pen or our crayon or whatever, we're going to draw those little wiggly spots. And that's really quick. Like I said, no matter what you want to do with it, it can be an expression of what you want to show. Well, this guy's a little unique. He's got a little bit of a nub right there. And the next part is kind of cool, and it's kind of like a swooshing motion. We're going to draw his body, and then it's going to kind of curl around into his tail. So I'm going to kind of start. I like to hold my pen, or my marker, or my pencil kind of a little bit away from the tip. See how if we're really close, you make little tiny curves. If you hold a little bit further out, you can make a nice gradual kind of curve and have a little bit more control over it. And that's going to be kind of his body, and then that's his tail. And we're going to come to the other side of his face, and we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to kind of make it a little bit tighter back here, and that's going to be part of his tail. And if you look right now, it kind of looks like a ghost with some sort of crazy hairstyle, but when we add more details in, it'll look a lot better. So for his hands, he's got 2 hands and 2 feet, and axolotls walk on 4 feet. So we're just saying hands because in our cool picture, he has little hands. He's going to be swimming in the water. So you can do a really cute little depiction of that by just doing basically 2 like long U shapes. So those are his little hands. Maybe you can kind of add a little nub on the side to show he's maybe got like a little thumb, you know. And then for his feet, it's going to be a little bit interesting. We're going to draw his right foot underneath, so it's kind of behind him because his body's turning and rotating. So we can add a little hump here, and then this is his foot dangling down. Very similar to how his hands are. And then up here, we're going to do the same kind of area, because it's going to be in the same spot, is his left foot. Maybe it's a little bit bigger because it's closer to you than the foot that's behind. And the cool thing about axolotls is they have this really frilly tail, similar to these mandibles that are off their head. And it has the same kind of setup. It's kind of a wiggly setup. Okay. And that kind of completes his body. And now we're going to give him nice big eyes. The cool thing about this is you can kind of animate the face however you like. If you want him to have, you know, we'll get another piece of paper. If you want him to have maybe a happy look to his face, you can change the way his eyes look. So let's say this is his head. We're just doing a couple quick drawings, nothing intense. If you just wanted to do like a happy drawing or make him look happy, you can kind of make two eyes like that. Very simple, you know, kind of hard to see where the ink is, but there you go. You can see it there. See how he's a little smile dude? And if you wanted to make him maybe a little bit more serious and kind of give him some circle eyes, you know, maybe a little tiny smile like this would be kind of cute, something like that. We're going to do something similar to this and give it a little bit more character, but just to kind of show you can even, you know, let's say you're drawing a guy and he's maybe angry at something, maybe like his french fries are burned or something like that, and he's like, you know, you can kind of draw him however you want, you know. But we'll continue with our drawing here, and we're going to do kind of a more stylized big eyes because we want this to look as cute as we can. That's my goal. Let's make it as cute as we can. And it kind of, you know, takes some time. Like his eyes aren't perfectly in the center, you know. Every drawing you make is going to be a little bit off of what you envision in your head, but that's okay. The nice thing about his eyes is we're going to color them in black. And we have this little white circle that's going to be there that kind of reflects the light that you see. So the light will kind of give a little, almost like an illusion of like that he's looking at you. See? Kind of looking in a specific direction. And we're going to finish off the outline with a cute little mouth. And we're going to kind of do a little W like that. A little cute dude. Alright, so now that we finished this, we're going to go and we're going to pick some colors. And I already have some colors set aside because it's cool. The nice thing about axolotls is there's a bunch of different colors, and you can kind of design them how you want. That's really, really fun. So my guy, he's going to be pink, and then some purple, and then we have some blue, maybe to put some color in the background, because maybe he's like swimming in the water. So you don't have to have a fancy pencil sharpener like this, but when you're coloring, you can kind of see my pencil's kind of a little bit dull right now. So we're gonna sharpen her up a bit, just so that way we don't have to spend too much time sharpening it all the time if we're going and coloring. One of the things we're gonna remember is we're gonna try to give this guy a little bit of depth. If you're using crayons or colored pencils, depending on how hard you press down, you'll get a certain amount of light color to kind of give him some character. So I'm just going to start off by coloring him in like these little circle motions to try to give him a nice kind of even color. Sometimes it's tricky too, because like if you press too hard down, then you get like these weird like pencil marks. You'll kind of get the feel for it as you kind of continue to color more. You'll get better with crayons, or you get better with colored pencils. Markers are a bit easier because the color kind of lays down more uniform, and what I mean by that is it's all kind of straight. Now the lighting's kind of tricky because I just colored this dude pink, and it's kind of hard to tell because the camera wants to change the color. There we go. I can see it a little bit better there. But what we're going to do is we're going to add some thicker color over on his right side, and you'll probably be able to see this better on the camera as we kind of lay down some kind of darker color. You can see this. And we're going to get, and we're just going to make it so that way there's a little bit of like a shadow. And what that'll do, you can push down harder with crayons, you can push down harder with colored pencils. Marker is a little bit trickier because, you know, don't really have that kind of transition or that gradient that you can make with markers. But I like that. In his first mandibles, I'm going to color these guys in here nice, solid, dark, really good pink just to really kind of make it pop. And having nice thick kind of black outlines lets you kind of fill in the space. It's kind of like a, you know, coloring book. You know, when you're drawing, you can kind of make your own pages of a coloring book. When you use like black marker, you can make your kind of outline, and then you can go in and color it however you want. And I'll bring this up closer to the camera so you can kind of see better. You can see how he's got more of like this pinkish depth to him. Kind of gives him a little bit of character, you know? Now the body's easy because, like I said, we're just gonna kind of color it all in pink because his body's the same color as his head. But this is mine. Your axolotl can have, maybe he's green, maybe he's blue, maybe he's a rainbow. It can be whatever you want it to be, because ultimately it's about you making a decision. And every decision you make as an artist doesn't have to always be a decision that you sit and kind of think about for a long time. Sometimes it's just in the moment, and your subconscious just kind of makes that decision for you. Maybe you're looking at a box of crayons, or you're looking at a whole thing of markers and you're like overwhelmed because there's a million colors. Sometimes it's best just to grab one and just, like, you know, hit the ground running, see what you make of it. And that's kind of, you get a lot of joy out of that, you know. And this is for you. This is, you know, like I said, doesn't need to be perfect, but you know what? You should be proud of it because you're making it yourself. You know, no one else is kind of sitting here giving you a hard time to draw. You never feel like you're being forced to draw or color. Don't forget, you see kind of I got this guy colored up. Don't forget his foot down here. And the foot down there, I'm going to color in really solid pink because the way his body is positioned, this foot is underneath, so it should be darker. And we're going to show that when we go and we make his body a bit darker, like right now. The lower part of his body here should be darker because the light source is coming from up above and pointing down. So up above it'll be lighter and down below be darker. And when you're doing like little kind of color drawings like this and characters, even doing a simple kind of thicker, darker kind of underline is really going to make your character really kind of pop. And the more you do it and the more you practice, you'll kind of get this, you'll get a feel for, you know, what the right decision is and where to put the color or the shadow. Sometimes you can look at things. I'm going to kind of make it over here a little bit more of like a nice kind of easy gradient into his kind of lighter pink body color. So it's not so drastic, but you don't have to do anything. This is just all suggestion and some advice, and this is kind of, you know, this is what I like. This is what I like to do. One of the things we're going to do with the coloring is under his foot here in his hands, we're going to put some darker pink, and that will make it look like there's some shadow under there to give it once more a little bit of depth. So let's work on that. We're going to do a little bit right here. Just enough to kind of make it pop out a little bit for him, you know? You want it to be kind of, you want to make sure that where you're coloring darker comes from the same position for everything else. So you can see on the right side of his head, it's darker because that's where the shadow is. And then we want the shadow to be coming down from the right side of his hands. That will give it that kind of 3D pop. Same thing with his leg, right? So we're going to go to the right side of his leg, give it a little bit of darkness here, a little bit of more saturation in the color, a little bit under his kind of like hip leg thing, a little bit right there, just to kind of make it look like it has a little bit more depth. See? Isn't that cool? All right. I almost forgot. Since we're going to be doing some depth, we got to put some underneath his neck, underneath his head, to make it look like his head is a bit bigger and popped out from his body. If we miss that, it will picture will kind of look a little bit flat. So we add a little bit of darkness here, a little bit of color, really blend it in if you want. And then what that'll do is see, look at that. That's cool. Makes his head pop out a little bit. I'm gonna move on to purple. I chose this really nice purple. This is called Mulberry. These are Prismacolor pencils, but like I said, you don't need the state-of-the-art colored pencils. You can get Crayola, you can get Art, whatever you have, Artist Loft, does not matter. As long as you have something to do, you don't even need color. You know what I'm saying? You can just draw the outline, and then that could be enough for you. You don't need to do anything more or any less. Whatever you feel comfortable doing, that's your decision as an artist. With the lighting, it kind of makes it look the same, but when we bring it up close, see, there's this kind of nice change in the purple. It's very nice. I'm gonna give us some more purple on these mandibles that he has coming out of his head. And do a little bit of that. And then when we finish doing this, we're gonna color his tail purple. And then that will kind of be his color scheme. Like I said, maybe you have a green one or maybe an orange one. Orange would be cool. Axolotls are kind of an interesting animal. They are close to being extinct. They live in a very, very limited spot in the world. There's not a lot of them left. And they're kind of closely related to like salamanders. You guys, if you've ever seen a salamander before or caught one, axolotls are a bit bigger, but same kind of family. So they are such an exotic creature. You know, you'd almost feel like it's something out of like a book or a movie or a video game or something, where it's like, this thing really exists on Earth. And, you know, as humans, I think it's important that when we're going through life, we're kind of making the right decision about where should I put my garbage, you know? What should I be eating? Do I really need to be, you know, throwing out my garbage at the side of the road? Like, we gotta take care of Mother Earth, and, you know, she'll take care of us. These beautiful creatures that exist and continue to thrive. And the last thing I'm going to do, maybe just a little bit of, maybe I'll do some simple notes here. We're just going to draw a couple circles above his head in blue. Kind of show that he has a little bit of, like, you know, bubbles coming up, you know. Nice thing about bubbles is you kind of make a circle outline, and then you put a little line that's almost parallel. And it gives it almost like there's a reflection of light. Very simple, easy thing to do. And that's all you gotta do. And that's about it, you know? I hope that you enjoyed kind of walking through this very simple axolotl drawing, and I hope it was kind of, you felt like you had success. And you don't need to get it perfect in the first try. Every time that you draw, you get a little bit better every time. So until next time, please be good and stay creative. I am Mr. Tim, and I will see you in the next video.